Now, speaking of following the truth, people, polls. There are two types of statistics. What are there? What is it? There's three types of lies: lies, damned lies, and statistics. And Canadian media is master at all of them. Keep having a difficulty here. Okay, share screen, Chrome tab, the Globe and Mail. Oh, here we go, Globe and Mail. I want to see how much bailout money Globe and Mail got, but this is from the Globe and Mail. This guy that you see here is what's his name? He's the Minister of Heritage now. Took over from the other equally, corrupt individual. What's his name? It'll be in the article. This is the Globe and Mail, people. Majority of Canadians support federal government's plan to regulate the internet. Polls show. I doubt it. I doubt it. But we got to see. We got to see the poll. We got to see the poll. Are we going to be able to get past the freaking garbage firewall? Not doing it. Not doing it. Sorry, you can't even see that, but it's behind a paywall. So I screenshotted it when I was able to access it real quick, like on my iPhone. Car honking. Majority of Canadians support federal government's plan to regulate internet. Bull crap. Bull crap with a capital B. But before we get there, we're going to see Globe and Mail federal bailout. Let's just see if they got any of the federal media bailout. Media sector gets $5 million, but I want to know if Globe. I mean, it's inconceivable the Globe and Mail didn't get any. I just don't know what amount they got. Here we go. Check this out. Okay. Globe. Here we go. Uniforms. Oh, okay. It doesn't look like. Oh, wait. Hold on. Go down. Find the. Come on, man. Okay. Find Globe. Okay. Let's see here if this is answering the question. Federal funding budget. Ottawa outlines criteria for media funding package introducing. Okay, so that's from the Globe and Mail. So I won't be able to find out if the Globe and Mail, how much they got. It's inconceivable that they did not get any of this federal bailout of the $600 million. It's inconceivable that they didn't. But apparently their headline: the majority of Canadians support the federal government's plans to regulate the internet. Let's just break that down a little bit. This is from the article when I was able to screenshot it. The Nanos Research Survey conducted between April 29 and May 2nd polled 1,000 phone Canadians by phone and online. It has a margin of error of whatever, who cares? This poll that the Globe and Mail purports to support their headline that the majority of Canadians support the federal government's intention to regulate the internet is based on 1,005 Canadians who were reached by phone and online. I'll ask you guys out in the chat. Have you ever responded? Have you ever done a survey that came through online? Have you ever said, yeah, that's what I want to do with my time right now. I want to take however many minutes it takes to fill out an online survey. One for yes, or how about just yes for yes, I've done it. No, I've never done it. And we'll see what demographic you are already filtering it down to of people who are willing to take a certain amount of time out of their day. And I say this without judgment. It's just to understand we are narrowing down the sample field. Which demographic would be most likely to take time out of their day to respond to an online request to do a survey? But they were also reached by phone. And I presume that means landline. And at the very least, it's going to involve some landline. Which demographic would be most likely to have landlines? What would be their political leanings? What would be their fear of an unregulated internet? And most importantly, what the heck was the question in this poll? I don't know what the question was. I'd like anyone who could find it. I couldn't find it. I was trying to look. What was the question in this poll? But even more important than that, by the way, even more important than that, who commissioned the poll? Oh, looky. A Nanos research poll commissioned by the Globe and Mail. The Globe and Mail, funded or bailed out by federal bailout monies, on the dole for all of this COVID government advertising. They commissioned the poll, which they got their 1,005 survey people, and the Globe and Mail, subsidized by government bailout, subsidized by COVID ads and government advertising, commissioned their own poll talked to 1,005 Canadians who are probably going to be highly likely to be of a certain political demographic, and came to the conclusion, oh, and by the way, even then, only 55% of this that's the best they could do with this skewed, idiotic, bullcrap poll that was commissioned by what is basically the propaganda arm of the federal government. Yeah, no, it's great. 1,005 people, they run the headline, majority of Canadians. In a poll that we commissioned for our employers, this is what we found. And the best they could even do with this garbage, stupid poll was 55%. But David Anber, all those of you know who he is. Dave Anber, the Canadian lawyer who's representing a lot of people involved in the absolute abusive prosecution stemming from the protest. Okay, 1,005 people is barely 3% of an average stadium. 1,005 people is a third of the people that we have watching. Oh, it's a quarter because we have a lot on Rumble as well. And that is those who decide to respond to that's just a third of those who decided to respond in the first place. But hold on, I'm going to take this off. Not everyone should go back and watch the sidebar with Richard Barris. Polls are nothing more than institutionalized fraud, period. You can get a poll to do whatever you want it to do based on how you ask the question, who you target, how you target people, who you decide to exclude because they didn't answer properly. They are institutionalized fraud. And this one is commissioned by the propaganda arm of the federal government, subsidized by the federal government, both directly and indirectly through government ads that keep these legacy garbage media afloat. And they've run a bias skewed poll for their employer. And lo and behold, 55% of the respondents said, yes, they support it. They run with the headline, the majority of Canadians support this thing that nobody supports in Canada. And just to show you how nobody supports it, David Anber, who has a very big Canadian, I mean, if I had to guess, Anber's following is mostly Canadian. He ran a poll and he said, two can play at this absurd game. Do you support the government's plan to regulate the internet? His poll got to nearly 2,000 votes before a single person voted yes. David Anber, admittedly, his poll is going to be skewed based on the political leanings of his followers. You can't know anybody who's voting on it if they're Canadian. We know there's a whole bunch of problems. But it got to nearly 2,000 votes before even one person said yes, they support it. What's it at now? Can we do it? No, I have to log in. Well, let me see what it's at now. I'll just I'll live risky like. And hold on, if I do this, I'm going to do this. Okay, now I'm going to take this out of incognito so that we can do it in my actual not incognito. So you just make sure that my message box is not open. Let's just see what he's at now. Look at this, people. And go, if you're on Twitter, go share it because I do want the broadest. I mean, it's best to get the broadest sample field possible. David Anber. Oh, my stomach is starting to grumble. Can we see this? We can see this. Yep. Look at this, people. Yeah, we're only at 6,530 votes. And it's 99%. Oh, sorry. 98.9% say, no, we do not support it. Hey, Globe and Mail. How do you respond to that? You peddlers of government propaganda. How do you respond to that? No, his poll it's totally skewed. He asked the open internet. Yeah, boss. Hey, boss. Yeah, totally skewed. 99%, and it'll only get better. You know, I was just about to check my messages as a reflex. Yep, it's only going to get better. Okay, cancel that, and I think that will cover it for the day, people. I think there was nothing more that I was wanted to talk about. Majority of government, yeah, behind a paywall, not sharing it. All right, people. Ordinarily, I would sit around and. Oh, no, I got to do the super chats, and then we're going to go. Super chats, then we end, and everyone should head over to the Duran, say Viva, Sanchez, so you can go listen to Barnes, because Barnes is obviously dropping the truth. I don't want to say truth bombs. He's dropping the truth